Radio 1290.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
And a great Monday afternoon to you. A new week. The sun is arising on the end of February, the shortest month on the calendar, March. It's March, folks. At the end of this week, it is March. Let the madness begin. Or has the madness already begun? After what we saw in Tucson at McHale Center Saturday night, and a lot of you might not have witnessed or heard about what happened in Houston on Saturday night. Nobody's happy with the officiating in the Big 12 Conference right now. And I'll say it. I tried to tell you. I did. I mean, all I heard about was, how the officiating in the Big 12, we can't wait to get away from the officiating in the Pac-12. It's so horrible. Tried to tell you. Wasn't going to be any different. Officials are officials. Doesn't matter what conference you're in. Doesn't matter what league you're in. Doesn't matter what level you play at. Humans on the floor at any level. I mean, heck, I don't know if you saw the video. The video of now they've got the instant replay. They're kind of testing it out in spring training this year, where batters can call for reviews of pitches now. And there's one particular going on. Dude got called for a high fastball. He appealed, and it literally takes seconds. I don't know I think they used this in AAA last year. I have to learn a little bit more about it. I know they're testing it out in spring training right now at the major league level. It is not anything that's going to be used this season, but it could be something that's used in the future. And literally, it's like the same thing you see on your TV when they show you how the pitch comes in and where it is, all that pitch tracking. The ball was high, and the call was overturned. So it was a strike 3 call. The batter asked for a review, and they changed it to a ball from a strike. That's what's coming. That is what's coming. The question's going to be, is it coming at every level of every sport, where you've got instant replay to be able to go back and look at things? Now, I have always said, I umpired for a number of years at the youth level, youth, high school, all that kind of little league, everything. And I always told people, I said, baseball is the only sport I'll referee. I don't really have time. I didn't really have time to do football in the fall. And I said, I would never do basketball. I used to tell people that all the time. I was like, I would never officiate basketball because there's too many calls that can go both ways in basketball. And we've seen it our entire lives. And to think that there was a faction of this fan base that thought that it was going to be different in a new conference still boggles my mind. You're going to get bad calls in any sport, no matter what conference you're in, what level you play at, whether you're getting paid or not. As long as humans are the ones making those decisions, because humans make mistakes. And we can get all bent out of shape about it and blah, blah, blah. And, hey, That's the job of the governing bodies. It's up to the governing bodies to police those situations. Can't change it. Not going to change anything. Nobody's going to come in here and say, okay, let's send BYU back to Tucson so we can replay the final 4 minutes. It's not going to happen. So you got to move on. I've seen that video all over and people complaining, oh, national pundits, it's the worst call ever. Maybe. But it happened. And it's over, and you can't go back. And I said maybe a lot of you didn't see what happened in Houston because a similar thing happened at the end of the Arizona women's basketball game. Skylar Jones driving to the basket. Clock is running out. Referees called a foul. Game is tied in overtime. Skylar Jones goes to the line, knocks down 2 free throws with, I think, 1/10 of a second left. And Arizona women walk out of Houston with a victory that maybe they should not have gotten. After being down 11 going into the fourth quarter, a valiant rally to force overtime, a desperation shot by the Cougars to send it into overtime after the Wildcats had a 3-point lead with a couple seconds left. And then a foul call at the end of the game. The Houston coach said afterward, I was hoping to be able to play this sound for you, but we don't have the correct file to do it. He basically said, I've seen basketball at every level. High school, college, FIBA. And the players should decide the game, is what he said, essentially. And then he stopped and said, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to get fined. So everybody's upset with the Big 12 officiating today on this Monday as we approach the madness known as March. If you're still not over it, I'll open my lines to you. You're not going to get any sympathy from me. There's other places you can go to get sympathy. You're not going to get that here. I'll listen to you. I'll listen to you complain about it. That's what you want to do, but you're not going to get any sympathy from me. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. As always, we've got our guys here. We've got Dragon Ball. We've got JW Madden. Dragon Ball, we obviously did not get your thoughts after the game on Saturday night. Your thoughts on how it all ended at McHale Center.
It was close. I mean, that's the end all be all of this discussion related to the game is that it was a close game, and every little detail are the things that are going to go ahead and be magnified. And hey, look, I get what the Houston coach is talking about. I know what everyone in the world thinks when it comes to sports is that, oh, you need to leave it in the players' hands. Well, sometimes the players make a mistake. Trey Townsend, in the moment where Richie Saunders was fouled, he chooses to step up and tries to put his hip on Richie Saunders' hip to keep him from turning. In that moment, maybe it'd be better to go ahead and keep a hand on his hip, have a little bit of a cushion in between. That way you can be prepared for when Richie Saunders tries to turn and go to the basket over the shoulder look. I mean, that, in the end, those are certain things. But regardless, the defense can't give up 90 points. You can't give up that many three-point shots. And the biggest thing about it to me is that a lot of the important defenders for the U of A were playing with a lot of difficult foul trouble. I mean, KJ Lewis fouled out of that game. Having KJ Lewis there in that final 30 seconds or so probably would have had a very big, dividend if he was on the court providing a little bit of extra defense out in the perimeter. Maybe he keeps Richie Saunders from having that opportunity to post up down low over Trey. But that didn't happen. In the end, a mistake was made. Richie Saunders hit his 2 free throws, and the game was over. In the end, hey, nail biters are nail biters. You come away with one against Baylor, and you lose one against BYU. So time to move on to the next one. You got a big one coming up against the Utah team that is going to be playing with a little bit of maybe extra motivation now that they have officially moved on from head coach Craig Smith.
I'm glad you brought up, and you just, there you dropping the breaking news. If for those of you that have not heard, Utah will be coming to town on Wednesday without their head coach. At least that's what we believe in terms of, is that an immediate thing? Is he immediately done, or is this an after the season thing, J-Dub, where he may coach out the rest of the campaign? Do we know that yet?
I believe it's immediate. Yeah. Okay. Their assistant coach, Josh Eilert, will serve as interim effective immediately.
Okay, so he is out. Craig Smith out as the head men's basketball coach at Utah after 4 years. He was brought in to replace Larry Krystowiak. And, again, this transition has not, this will be the fourth year they're not going to the NCAA. So 4 years, no NCAA tournaments. That's really hard to survive at this level. We'll get into that. Also, you heard Dragon Ball say hip. And I'm glad he said that because I want to talk about the hip when we come back. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lowe's knows how to help you get the most out of your store run. That's why members save more with My Lowe's Rewards. Earn points towards My Lowe's money on eligible purchases. Get access to member-only deals and free member gifts. Plus, unlock free standard shipping when you reach Silver Key status. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is so simple to use. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40 plus states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code ROAM and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit for just playing, guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Your old or broken phone can let you down, but at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence with a new line on My Plan and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. After all, you don't want your old phone to die on you when you're lost.
Perfect.
Or for your broken phone to glitch at the worst possible time.
Hey, can I get your number? Oh.
Trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why My Lowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards My Lowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join My Lowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collision at Thornydale and McGee and Thornydale. Stone Avenue, Prince Road. We've got some minor restrictions there. Southbound Stone Avenue approaching Prince. For your weather, 49 and clear skies overnight, sunny 85 tomorrow and 83 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Wildcats drop down out of the top 20, but they are still in the top 25, the men's basketball team, despite their loss to the BYU Cougars the other night by a score of 96-95. Things got a little hairy down the stretch of that ball game. Jada, bring me up over here. I'm going to play a few things here real quick. Let's start out with what we had here at the end of the game that Dragon Ball was talking about just a few minutes ago.
The Wildcats will cover everybody man-to-man here. Again, they won't guard the end line. Carter Bryant will be at midcourt. Inbounds, it goes to Hall. Working his way up. Get it off to Saunders. 8 seconds. Saunders drives right. Backing his way down. Turns there. Throws it up. No. Foul called. And that foul's going to go on Townsend. And Saunders will go to the line to shoot two with 2.6 seconds left.
Fading away from the basket. I don't know how that can be a call. I don't know how you can call that. Saunders sold it and sold it and sold it, and he was rewarded.
And you heard Dragon Ball say in the first segment that Trey probably shouldn't have put his hip into the driver, Saunders, as he was going to the basket. And I think that's important because of what happened prior to that on the call with Caleb Love. And it was a defender for the BYU Cougars who put his hip into Caleb Love to initiate that foul call at the other end. And sometimes when you're dealing with officials, when something gets into their head like that, they're immediately looking for that same thing at the other end of the floor. And I think that's another, when you go back and you look at this and watch this again and break it down, and J-Dub talked about it on the post-game show. If you missed what J-Dub had to say, head on over to our Twitter account, Wildcats1290. You can hear his take, what he said after the show on Saturday night about that sequence and about Tony Padilla being out of pocket to make that call in that situation. But you have to believe, because Tony Padilla was the one who made the call at the Arizona offensive end of the floor on a, quote, hip check by a defender, that potentially that hip was in his head at the offensive end. And when he saw Trey Townsend put his hip out, he immediately said, well, he may have immediately said to himself, I called it at this end, I got to call it at that end. Thoughts on that?
like I said, it's a hip check by definition of the rule. If you hit an offensive player with your hip using your positioning that impedes their ability to either get to the basket or to shoot a shot over the top of a defender, then you got to make the call. If that's what Padilla saw, that's what Padilla saw. And again, I'm saying this from the sake of, yeah, we're all a little bit perturbed over officiating on every sport that we watch. But nonetheless, Arizona, they can't get hung up on it. The main thing is that you've got Utah coming in now, and you still have a chance to clinch yourself a position in the top 4 in the Big 12 and get that double bye. If you can get the double bye, that's all that really matters right now at this point in the season.
That's the goal.
And to be fair, the last couple of games, you got to look at them and say a lot of these are or should be winnable games for the U of A men to go ahead and get that opportunity. And it's just a matter of how you finish strong and not get distracted by, man, we're this close to going in and clinching it in this last one, but if we didn't get hit with this call, it would have changed out for the better. Again, you're going up against Utah. Then you got Iowa State over at their place. They're going to try to pay us back for what we did, for what they suffered here at McHale. And then you got the school up north. And then finally, you finish the season against Kansas in their house. And now the preseason number 1 isn't even in the top 25 with the recent releases of the polls. So, again, not necessarily a murderer's row of what is on that final schedule compared to what we thought at the beginning of the year. You still have a chance to finish a top 4. You can't let one call distract or detract from what the big issue was against BYU, and that was just a lack of defenders closing out on open shooters. That's it. You defend the three-point shot against BYU in that game, you don't got to worry about Richie Saunders in the post. That's the bottom line. If you guard the three-point shot better than what they did, and you keep guys like Maggott and all these other guys getting three-point shots at high volume and high efficiency, you don't got to worry about Richie Saunders trying to post you up down low. And then you go ahead and come out with a win on that one. The defense was the main thing to focus on this game, not the final minute of officiating. That's what needs to be discussed.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. I like to create new segments. So I think I'm creating another new segment. I'm calling it the Final 8 in terms of the final 8 minutes of the game, because generally these home games, I try to go for the first half and half of the second half, but I'm usually out of the McHale Center by the 8-minute timeout, so I don't generally get to see the final 8 minutes of the game live. I did get back in time to see the last 30 seconds of the game the other night, but normally I have to go back later and watch that final 8-minute segment to get a real sense of what happened at the end of the game. And one of the things you mentioned there, Dragon Ball, that I thought is very interesting as well. Again, it comes down to the defense at the end of the game. And one of the top takeaways I had, and we've talked a lot about KJ Lewis, and there's no question, and I tweeted about this earlier today, there's no question that KJ Lewis is the best defender on this team. But I thought he made 2 critical errors down the stretch. And I want to get your thoughts on these errors. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program. The first was when Mawat Mag hit a 3-point shot from the corner. Now, there's several ways you can look at this. Mawat Mag is not a 3-point shooter. In terms of volume on that team, he's probably their 4th or 5th guy that takes threes. But he was in a 3-point shooting position in the corner. You had 3-point shooters on each corner. And what stood out to me when I went back and watched the tape was Caleb Love was on the right side, and he was standing literally a foot away from his 3-point shooter, whereas KJ Lewis on the left side had 1 foot in the paint. Now, again, Moet Mag, not generally one of those guys that you're going to look at the scouting report and say, okay, this is a volume three-point shooter. But still, in that instance, he's standing in three-point shooting territory, waiting to potentially get a kick-out pass. I thought KJ Lewis needed to be a little bit closer in that respect than where he was. The second critical mistake I thought he made was, JW talked about it afterward, which you called the play of the game, which was the and one. And you absolutely cannot give up the baseline in that respect on that particular play right there. You have to force that guy back to the inside. Let him beat you inside where you might be able to get some help, but you cannot let him beat you baseline where you have no help, and as a result, you had to commit a foul, and he got a three-point play out of it.
Yeah, you want my analysis? BYU played better, and they won. On to the next one.
Okay, there you go.
In that play, I mean, you just mentioned Moat in the corner. I mean, KJ is the best defender on this team, and he's well known for coming off his man to affect ball handlers and to block shots. BYU is taking advantage of that. Moat in the corner threes was a huge part of BYU's game plan and has been over the course of the entire season with that NBA head coaching staff. That's huge in the NBA. So you have shooters in the corners. It spreads the whole court out, room for drivers, all of that. When KJ missed Moat in the corner, made up for that with Richie. Richie, gave him a little ball fake, went right by him baseline, and there was nobody there underneath the basket for the reverse. That's when KJ fouled out. I think more than anything, the ball handling by Arizona, especially in that first half, a little bit sloppy. You can clean that up. But it's really difficult when you're talking about a team with 4 or maybe even 5 shooters on the court. That's what we're talking about here, guys. With an inverted offense with a 6'9" point guard. Who guards the 6'9" point guard when there's 4 shooters around him? A very unique challenge for any team to have to face. And if you look at the way BYU Cougars have been playing over the course of the last 5 games, nobody's been able to figure out that offense. It's super efficient right now. They're all playing really well. And guess what? They're going 9 or 10 deep is the other part of this. So super fresh legs down the stretch. As far as KJ goes, I mean, some teams will just find a way to try to take advantage of his desire to come off his man that he's guarding and affect plays because he's just a disruptor. I mean, he is a defensive disruptor at this level. He loves to affect plays off ball, and that's something that some teams can try to take advantage of. If KJ bites on the drive and they kick it to his man, that's a part of the strategy of KJ being super active and seemingly being every single place on the court all at once. Some teams will see that on film and try to design a way to take advantage of KJ, and he, again, has to make adjustments and understand, number one, you're completely right. Moat's not a three-point shooter.
Right.
Therefore, the percentages allow for KJ Lewis saying, I'll live with that one. After he makes one, it's a different story. So after he hit the first one, he was going to be out there. I think KJ's one of the better defenders I've seen in an Arizona uniform in modern history. Still a young player. Couple of mistakes he could clean up there. But to me, more than anything, I think, number one, BYU played great. So you have to give them credit. And number two, there's some correctable mistakes. JB dribbled the ball off his foot. Carter Bryant had a couple of balls where he threw it directly to a BYU uniform. You clean those up, and we're not talking about officials' calls at the end of the game. And just for the record, I don't have a problem with that call at all. It definitely was a foul by definition. And my biggest thing is the consistency. Most people had a problem with Pac-10, Pac-12 refs because they would call nothing in the first half, everything in the second half. If a foul's a foul in the first half, let's make that a foul in the second half. Changing what the refs call as a foul during stretches of the game and not others, outside of cleaning up extracurriculars because the teams are getting too chippy and it could lead to some altercations. Outside of that, I just think consistency is all anybody's looking for, just like a strike zone, DK. If you're going to call it tight, but don't change it up in the first inning to the ninth inning. Just have a consistent call throughout the game, and that way the players can adapt to that. But, long story short, BYU played better, guys. That's why they won. Period.
And the other part of it, too, is, again, Mag's not a consistent three-point shooter, so you can afford to go ahead and hold off a little bit, give a little bit of space between yourself and your shooter. But the other problem is that BYU, during that game, That was some of the best pick and pop, pick and roll off ball that I've seen from a team all season long. Again, KJ, when he was on the court, a lot of times he's on catchings. Catchings had more than a few where he came off the screen, shoulders still on the hip of the guy giving him the screen.
Yeah.
Caught it, went
he
up,
was
and
probably the player of the game for them. Yeah, for sure.
So I said he could be a pest. Yeah, he was.
And Catchings hit that shot, and that was KJ's whole night, was he had to go either over or under a screen the whole game. You give a little bit of space to the guy that you're guarding because you're assuming he's going to get a backdoor cut somewhere, and you want to try and get over or around that screen rather than run into it.
Can we change the conversation to be something a little less serious? My question to you guys is, how much of BYU's success has to do with Coach Smith's firing?
That's a deep question. That's a deep question.
That's I'm sure that pushed the panic button in Salt Lake City when they saw a new coach come in and automatically and get the number one recruit in the country, and now you've got a team that's in won 4 in a row now and beaten one back-to-back ranked
the Utes
game.
Fan base, as they should, consider themselves to be a basketball school. I mean, we all know about the college football championship game appearance that they had before a certain coach decided to go to Florida. We all remember all of that era. But, I mean, as far as the Utes basketball tradition, I went to Rick Majerus' basketball camp back in the 80s. I mean, I saw it firsthand. They consider themselves to be a big basketball school, and seeing their, that Holy War rival 26 miles away or whatever, not only having the number one recruit coming in next year, but having instant success this year, being a top 30 or a net ranking team and clearly looking like they're going to be getting a favorable seed in the NCAA tournament there has to be some relative comparison there between the two programs. Obviously, Coach Smith, it's a $5 million buyout. So they could have let him finish out the season, but clearly after beating Kansas and Kansas State last week, the loss to UCF was too much, and pulling the trigger today, I was very surprised by that news, mid-season firing by a coach, but I'm sure it has to have something to do with BYU's success, because you got to be better than, as far as the Utes fan base is concerned in basketball, that's supposed to be their sport.
Mm-hmm. All right, 520-848-1290. Love to hear your thoughts on it. If you've got anything new, if you've gone back and reviewed it again, what did you think? Much more coming up for you straight ahead. The Suns are pathetic. We'll talk a little bit about that today. And is it time to just completely blow this whole thing up in Phoenix? Because how do you lose to the Toronto Raptors? Oh, my goodness. TK on the Sports Tip. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
February means Valentine's Day, but we're always spreading the love at Oral Ford. Hi, it's Alex Medina. What's not to love about paying 2% lower taxes only at Oral Ford? Then there's zero dealer add-ons at Oral Ford. Love that. And everyone loves this. I'll beat any price on a new Ford. So look, we don't use the same old rule book at Oral Ford. We sell cars from the heart. That's how we always do business. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson to Oral Ford. You're going to love it. Drive a little, save a lot.
The jungle has moved to afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
We're officially less than a month away from the madness, and it's time for some college hoops. I'm Kate Constable, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. I'm backing McNeese State to cover as 15.5-point favorites ahead of its home matchup against Texas Rio Grande Valley. The Cowboys secured a 30-point road victory as 10-point favorites against their conference rival earlier this season, and will likely lock down another convincing win to kick off their week. I'm Kate Constable from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
Became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is so simple to use. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40-plus states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code ROAM and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit for just playing, guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. That is the number for you to get involved in the conversation. Talking Arizona men's basketball, Arizona women's basketball. Great weekend for the baseball team. Pretty good weekend for the softball team. Arizona softball, unfortunately, lost to Texas, though, in extra innings, 8 innings, 8-4. But that was their only loss of the weekend, so they stayed hot. Men's tennis knocked it out the park, beating number 7 San Diego. We'll have that coming up for you. We'll have a conversation with Clancy Shields, the head coach at the University of Arizona on the men's tennis side. He has put together quite the program in men's tennis. I mean, a few years ago, they couldn't beat the LA schools. Not that they play them much this year, but they absolutely put the beat down on the Trojans when they came to town earlier this year. There was like 20 years where they didn't beat USC or UCLA. Now they pretty much beat them every year. That's how good Arizona men's tennis has gotten. They are the number 2 team to beat in the Big 12 this year, behind the reigning national champions from TCU. So we'll talk to Clancy Shields a little bit about that. I want to hear again. I want you to hear again the foul at the offensive end of the floor that had a lot of people talking after the game on Saturday night.
The one thing we haven't brought up is actually this is two plays. This is them missing the front end of a 1-on-1 with 15 seconds to go. The Arizona getting the rebound and Caleb pushing and getting that foul, the hip foul you're talking about, happened directly after the BYU player missed a front end of the 1-on-1. This is what it sounded like.
Shooting into the zone is Zoo. The front end, no good. And Love the rebound. Arizona with the ball down by 1. 15 seconds to go. Love drives right. Love to the bucket. Lay it up. Good. And he's fouled. They're going to say no bucket, but he was fouled. So no basket, but 2 shots for Caleb Love with 12.5 to go.
And I guess that's the other thing that people need to be reminded of is that there is no continuation in college basketball. It's not the NBA where you can get bumped on a drive and continue to make the basket and it counts. That foul came clearly on the floor even before Caleb Love left the floor. So there was no chance for it to be a shooting foul in that respect. Apparently that upset a lot of people on Saturday night. I didn't really understand that either. We've got to get another break in. Paul, you hang on. We'll get to you. Also want to address what happened after the game and Arizona's response to that, which I have a little bit of a problem with that response. We'll talk about that. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. DK on the sports tip. J-Dub, Cricket, Dragon Ball, all here on this Monday as we march toward March at the end of this week, the best month of the year. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low-pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low-pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
My best friend died suddenly, and now his wife and kids have to move out of their house. I had no idea he didn't have life insurance. If I could go back, I'd tell him how easy and affordable protecting your family can be with SelectQuote. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent found me a $500,000 life insurance policy for only $18 a month. They compare many of the nation's most highly rated insurance carriers to find the right coverage and price for your needs. In the last 40 years, they've helped more than 2 million families secure over $700 billion in coverage. Even if you have a health concern, SelectQuote agents can find you the right policy at the lowest price. Don't wait until it's too late. Get peace of mind that your loved ones are protected with life insurance.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-480-5454 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-480-5454. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-480-5454. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
Smart solutions to eliminate bugs, bees, and weeds this spring.
Science nerds, choose Essential.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
When students struggle because they are hungry
or fall behind because they lack school supplies,
a caring adult can make all the difference.
Especially someone from the community.
Someone who knows the students.
And the obstacles they might be facing.
At Communities in Schools, our site coordinators surround students with a community of support
to ensure that they have everything they need to engage in learning.
We go all in for kids, all day, every day.
To learn more, visit communitiesinschools.org.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. Collisions reported Grant and Fairview and Grant Road, also Thornydale and McGee and Thornydale. And some slowdowns southbound La Cholla at Ahaway, a little busy Ahaway and Mission, and also busy traffic on 12th Avenue north of Ahaway. 49 and clear tonight, sunny 85 tomorrow, and 83 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Tap into your well-being with Audible audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Expand your life with expert insight and motivation for better health, habits, relationships, finance, and more. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
80 degrees today here in Arizona. Woo, man, I love it. Absolutely love it. I was listening to baseball on the radio yesterday. Nothing better. Nothing better. A Sunday, a little baseball in the air. Wife and I went out. We hit a couple new spots that we hadn't been to. Broadway is starting to come back together. There's some good things going down on Broadway. Restaurants, bars. Now that they finally finished, how long did that construction go on down there? Like a couple of years? I think so. But yeah, there's some good stuff happening. Broadway is going to be, I think that's going to be, when they get it all done, that's going to be a place to be. That Broadway section just south of campus. There's going to be a lot happening in that area. So get on over there and check out a few of the new places. Broadway Beer and Wine Bar. That was one of the spots we hit yesterday. Had some awesome barbecue. It was like a truck, not truck stop. Truck stop. What do they call it? Where they serve the food out of the truck. What do they call those things, guys? Help me here.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
What do they call it? Food truck. Thank you.
Oh.
Food truck. They had a food truck, barbecue food truck, Black Market Barbecue. If you've never had any Black Market Barbecue, check that out. It was good. I mean, I ordered a half a slab, and I think I got, I felt like I got a full slab. The bones were so big. But check them out. I think they're all over town, but definitely there. They may be there multiple Sundays at Broadway Beer and Wine Bar. 520-848-1290. Let's talk to Paul in Phoenix. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, David, good to talk to you, and hi to the other guys. You know, I didn't call in Saturday night after the game because the your local who sits near you, Genius, he said something, and that was it. I had nothing else I could say.
Wait, who's JW? That? Our local who?
That was your local Genius.
Oh, okay.
J-Dub.
Oh, yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
He's the resident U of A basketball guy. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you need to know anything, he said it, and I tell you what, it drives me crazy when this type of stuff happens during a game. But he was spot on. Again, how can an experienced official, 40 to 50 feet away from a play, make a call when yet there's somebody, one of his counterparts is standing 4 feet away? Okay.
Right.
Now, I have a question for you. Okay. So what if Tony Padilla had been the guy 4 or 5 feet away? Okay, probably going to make the call. But what if the guy way out front had made the call? Do you think Tony Padilla would have said, no, I'm going to override that? That's not a foul. Well, heaven forbid if it had been the other way around. If that guy had tried to override Tony Padilla, oh my gosh, the world would have collapsed probably. So it is what it is. It was a call. It's nothing we can do about it. We'll move forward. But J-Dub, thank you so much for putting it into perspective. And I, at that point when you said that, I was like, okay, it's late. I'm going to go to bed because I had nothing else. I had nothing else to offer. Nothing else to offer. Okay.
I think in a perfect world, all the refs would come together after a call, especially in the last couple of minutes. I mean, DK in the first segment was talking about how robots are on the horizon. Baseball umpires may not be around 20 years from now. We got to check every single replay to see if it's, the correct call. There's a balance there where the 3 refs who are on the court in basketball cases, if there's a call that one person had a really good look at, and you'll see this in the NBA a lot, where you'll see a whistle and then the 2 refs will come over and they'll have a quick conversation and they'll say, oh, my bad. I had a bad angle on that one. In that particular case, I mean, Tony Padilla was the crew chief. He's been a Final Four ref, I think, 3 or 4 times. I mean, he's a highly accomplished referee, and he had the call, and he stood by it. So, I mean, I think in a perfect world, fans just want the right call to be made.
Yes.
DK pointed out, hip checks on both sides. I'm not here to say good call, bad call. I just want consistency throughout the 40 minutes, that a call made 1 minute into the game is the same call made the last minute of the game. That's all I want.
100% agree, and that's why I was done. I could go to sleep that night. I fell asleep. I slept good, despite the loss. I tell you what, I'm still okay with this team. But let me bring something else up. And David, I don't want to steal into your thunder, or I don't want to come across as being a jerk. Okay, and because first off, I don't want to get banned. Okay, from calling the show. Okay.
You're on thin ice, buddy. Thin ice.
Okay, but here's the thing. I listened to the morning show. There's a morning show here in Phoenix, and he's on the verge of it's comedy. Some of it's a little bit on the rough side, kind of a little racy. Okay, and he mentioned something about the whole thing that happened after the game about the BYU thing. Okay. And he brought up a point, and I'm only laughing about it. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing on either side. I just think it's kind of funny, his perspective. He goes, wait a second, think about it for a second. He goes, BYU identifies as a religious school, as a Mormon school. So the fact that the fans harassed him about it, isn't it kind of like, don't they have that coming to them that's going to happen if that's the case? That doesn't make it right. But I was a very interesting perspective. I heard this. I was like, doesn't make it right, but it's very interesting. Like, I wonder, because look at Notre Dame. I'm sure they've heard their share of things. What about the Miami Hurricanes back in the day when they were considered the criminals or the convicts or whatever? Okay, I'm sure they had that
Catholics versus convicts.
Exactly, Catholics versus convicts. So I find it interesting. I'm really curious to hear, David, what you have to say, so I will definitely be listening. But it is kind of interesting. Fans will be fans. What can you do? So.
Well, let's let college kids will be students. College kids is what it comes down to.
Exactly.
I got a quick story. Yeah. So when I was in junior high school, 7th grade. My dad and Dr. Malcolm Kerr were associates. They were friends. And he was assassinated. And there was a moment of silence for Steve Kerr. I was there. And then they were at ASU. And the ASU students, quote unquote, chanted, "Where's your dad, PLO," and all this stuff. And for 20 years, I hated ASU. And I hated ASU students. And then one day I woke up and I realized 40 or 50 people chanting that at the ASU game does not represent the 10 million ASU fan base. So it's different. It's okay to say those morons did a moron thing relative to that fan base did a dumb thing. That's not how any of this works. What happened was the BYU, after the game, it was actually a transfer from Utah, put up the double L sign and was taunting the students, who then responded. And in case people don't know out there, this is the 10th arena that this has been chanted in to BYU this season. This is not something the U of A students made up. It's something that all of the different student bodies for the entire conference have been doing all year long. So, again, dumb people doing dumb things does not represent McHale and does not represent the U of A fan base, quote unquote.
Exactly. So there, and that's it. So, gentlemen, you know what? Wednesday night, Utah, right?
Here we go.
And then, who do we play Saturday?
Iowa State.
Iowa State. And then it's Tempe again. So, and by the way, in Tempe, I think they dismissed. Was he their leading scorer?
B.J. Freeman, yeah.
He left. Yeah,
he's gone.
He left the school. The headbutt guy. Too bad. I would have liked to have him come into Tucson.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
I wonder what type of chanting we would have gotten then.
Right?
Exactly. Headbutt. Anyway, hey guys, bear down. We're getting closer to March Madness, baby. I love it.
There we go.
Thanks.
March is just a few days away. Let the madness begin. All right, we will dive in further. I have a few thoughts on the chanting that happened after the game and the way that it was addressed by the University of Arizona Athletics Department, and it kind of correlates to what we just talked about there with Paul. DK on the sports tip. Dragon Ball is here. He's got sports in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Well, focusing on the diamond over the weekend, the Arizona baseball team had a pretty strong bounce back after they completed a 3-game sweep over University of San Diego. Newcomer third baseman Matisse Morin managed to go ahead and hit his first home run on Saturday with the Cats, and then repeated the feat with another moonshot on Sunday here in the second inning.
This, frankly, from Morin. And he'll swing at the first pitch he sees, driven to deep right field. Watson's going back. It's out of here. Morin with a home run to extend Arizona's lead. Now 4-0 over San Diego.
Wee wee. I didn't know Brody was French.
Morin homered yesterday. He does it again today.
A maroon moonshot. That's what I would like to coin that. Maroon moonshot. As they using the strong rally then in the 8th inning, the Cats managed to go ahead and come back to win in their finale over USD 12-6. On the softball side of things, the Cats struggled on Saturday, but flexed their muscles quite literally against former Pac-12 rival Stanford. All 10 of Arizona's runs came off home runs. We had a caller talking about if they weren't sure they had the power in their bats this season. Well, they fixed that on Sunday. Devin Netz knocked out 2 of her own, bringing in 4 RBIs as they run-ruled the Cardinal in a strong finish to the weekend there. And in the NBA, the 76ers and former MVP Joel Embiid are looking to be considering some major decisions for the center's future, as the two sides are reportedly exploring options for Embiid's ongoing nagging knee injury. Embiid actually underwent imaging today and has been officially ruled out. The former MVP even managed to say that he may need surgery or further extended rest after only playing in 39 games last season following a tear in his meniscus. And I'm Dragon Ball with your Twin Twin Sports update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Grant and Fairview collision and some slowing westbound Grant Road approaching I-10. Another wreck at Thornydale and McGee. Some slowing westbound Ajo Admission, also on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. And I'm Cricket, and for your overnight weather, clear skies and 49, sunny 85 tomorrow and 82 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery. When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do, with press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play.
It is over. Cats have won it.
We bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 9,000 5-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Wildcat fans, Taco Bell is a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and is ready to serve you. We're open for breakfast. Fire up your mornings with breakfast at Taco Bell. You've heard about Happy Hour? Well, try Happier Hour at your local Taco Bell for $1 beverages. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., choose any regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Moss.
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
Please donate now to help people affected by the 2025 California wildfires.
Go to redcross.org to help.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide. Starting with how much it costs to get a grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.
Doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station, your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Hour number 2 of our show today. So glad you could be with us. Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team drops out of the top 20. They are now number 22 in the country in the latest poll. And it appears, although I don't know if this is the Joe Lenardi bracketology, but they've fallen off the 3 line down to the 4 line, which is another reason that people are upset. Losses at this time of year can change your seeding in terms of the NCAA tournament. A 3 versus a 4. 4 seed, obviously, you're going to play a 5 in the second round. 3, you're going to play a 6. To me, as long as you're in that neighborhood, it really doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, if you're falling from a 2 to a 3 and now you're going from 2-7 to 3-6. To me, 3-6, 4-5, those games are almost identical as far as I'm concerned in terms of generally your talent level and the teams you're going to face in that particular round and that game. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know how much that really matters in the long run. And if you want to get a headache, start looking at the tiebreakers in the Big 12 Conference as it relates to because again, you got to finish top 4 to get that, quote, double bye. Because there's 16 teams now, there's 2 levels of play before we actually even get to the quarterfinals in Kansas City.
You know what I miss? I miss the Pac-10 where you played all other 9 teams, since you can't play yourself, once each. And that was nice and neat and made a lot of sense. Can't do that with 16 teams.
No. I think the Wildcats, if I'm not mistaken, we have 6 road wins already. 1, 2, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2. So the Wildcats are 6-2 on the road with 2 left, and BYU is 4-3 currently on the road. I think they've won their last 3 road games, as a matter of fact. So that is one benefit in terms of the tiebreaker, because if BYU and Arizona were to potentially be tied for that 4th spot, right now the Wildcats would have it based on the 3rd tiebreaker, which is road record in the conference. Because the first tiebreaker would be how both these teams did against the team that finished first. And that would be Houston, and both those teams played Houston once and lost.
Back when the Pac-12 was 2 or 3 decent to good teams and 9 bad teams, the tournament was important. But my question is, how important is winning the Big 12 tournament when potentially you could – I mean, look what happened to Houston just last year, right? I mean, they had Jamal Shead went out like right before the tournament. That was their entire title chances. So we know how rough the Big 12 the Big 12 conference is as in general. You talk about putting all 16 of those teams together over a 4-day period and playing game after game after game, day after day after day against NCAA tournament teams. We'll see. I mean, tournament titles are great, but I'd much rather have Arizona be healthy once the NCAA tournament starts than to bring home a banner from the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you're in. You're in. I think you go there. I mean, I think that you go there to win. Don't get me wrong. You go there to win, but you know, if you don't, it's not a huge deal. You go there and you compete and you try to see what happens. But, yeah, you don't want to get anybody hurt in that type of setting and risk what the long-term goal is, and that is to win at the NCAA level. All right, so let's get back to what we were talking about in the last hour, and that's what happened after the game. There was some shenanigans. And, again, there's multiple ways we can go with this. We can have the handshake line conversation yet again, if you'd like. 520-848-1290. And should that just be done away with? Because, again, in some of these highly charged instances, once again, we had some guys that wanted to get funny with each other, and that may have led to guys getting funny with the fans as they were walking out, and we know what this fan base at times, those kids over in the Zona Zoo like to lose their minds, like they did against UCLA a few years ago. Most recently, I think that's the most recent incident that we had where the Zona Zoo walked out of the arena with egg on their face, which they did again Saturday night. For chanting a expletive towards the BYU fan base and team. Now, here's my issue, and it may be a minor issue with the way that the athletic department responded to this, but here's my issue in how they worded this response. And if you haven't seen it, it was a statement from Vice President and Director of Athletics Desiree Reed-Francois. Following tonight's men's basketball game, it was brought to our attention that an unacceptable chant occurred. On behalf of the University of Arizona Athletic Department, we apologize to BYU, their student athletes, coaches, and fans. The chant is not reflective of who we are and should not have happened. That last part is the part I have the problem with. The chant is not reflective of who we are and should not have happened. I might have reworded that part. Because that chant is absolutely reflective of those people that made that chant. That group of students, maybe there were adults in that mix as well, but it was coming from mostly the Zona Zoo, so we anticipate that was mostly students. If they said it, that is reflective of who they are. Now, if you want to craft the message as what was said is not reflective of our general fan base, the majority of our fan base, I can get behind that. But to come out and say it's not reflective of who we are, well, yeah, it is reflective of who you are. Because those were your fans. Those were our fans that did it. So it may not be reflective of the fan base as a whole, but it is reflective of who we are because they are a part of us. And so I would have rephrased it as that chant is not reflective of the majority of our fan base. That is the correct statement because that is true. It's not reflective of the majority of our fan base. But to say it is not reflective of who we are, I think that was an improper way to word it. What are your thoughts on that? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Let's get Doug in and hear what he has to say. You're on DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, guys, bear down. I've calmed my breathing and pulse rate down a little bit, and I'm able to call you now. I just couldn't do it Saturday night. I get pretty wrapped up in these games, you know. So I'll just pick up on the point that you were just talking about, and I completely agree, and I'm glad you said it, that it does not reflect the whole fan base, and that could have been worded more clearly. My position on it is, and it doesn't have to be a popular one, but it's my position, that I think people are reading too much into the intent behind that choice of words by the idiots in the student section. Obviously, it's completely out of line and indefensible, but I think you're giving them way too much credit if people think that it was intended as like a religious attack. I really don't think that a bunch of 18 to 21-year-olds were sitting there thinking, my religion's better than your religion, and that's why I'm going to say this particular phrase. I think that if they had been saying bleep the Cougars, that it would have been, they probably would have meant the exact same thing. I don't think that they were going out of their way to target a religion. So I think the extra sauce that people are putting on it because of the specific noun they were using, I think that's being overstated. I don't know if you agree.
Guys?
I mean, the biggest thing about it is that, like you said, DK, it should not be reflective of the entire fan base as a whole, because let's look at it from a point of view of all major sporting events where fans maybe did a bit too much. Does it reflect on all Eagles fans or the Eagles fans that cheered an unconscious Michael Irvin on the field of the Link? No, it doesn't reflect all Eagles fans, but it reflects on the ones that did chant. Does it reflect on all Utah Jazz fans when they mocked Vernon Maxwell after his wife's stillborn daughter? No, it doesn't reflect on all Jazz. It reflects on the ones that did make those chants towards him for that. And much like you mentioned earlier, J-Dub, it reflected on the 40-some-odd Sun Devil fans that mocked Steve Kerr following the death of his father. It reflects on those particular incidents. And, yeah, I think with the inclusion of the religion aspect, that's where it kind of gets to a bit more derogatory. But nonetheless, if it had just been directed towards the Cougars or to BYU, then it wouldn't be necessarily as demonstrative as people were reacting to it on social media.
And all I'm saying is I think that the fans were using those two to be synonymous. I don't think that they intended to attack a religion. I think if somebody said expletive, the Irish, I don't think that they're literally saying, I don't like people from Ireland. I think what they're saying is that's the nickname of your team, and I'm just using it to be mad at your team. I really don't think that the Zona Zoo was going after a religion. Now, I'm not trying to defend him because, I thought it was really stupid. And where I was sitting at the arena, a lot of students were exiting right past me, and a lot of them were actually chanting the noun was refs instead of Mormons.
Right.
And so you kind of had this two-tiered chant going where people couldn't get on the same page. And then you had other people, talking about what you're saying, you had a lot of the general public folks who were telling them to stop.
Right.
I saw people like putting that, like the arms down kind of gesture, like no, or the arm across the throat, hands across the throat, like stop it. So there's plenty of self-policing going on. But at the end of the day, you just can't stop somebody from expressing that with their mouths, and that's unfortunate. I just wanted to put that spin on it, and I don't think it's even spin. I just wanted to give my opinion on it. I don't think that they were attacking their religion.
It's a hard question to answer, Doug. I can't answer if what was in those kids' hearts. I don't know that. I don't know if it was a religious thing, if they were attacking a religion, or they were just attacking the team, because that's the most common term that's associated with that team. I can't answer that question.
It's all Trey and Matt's fault.
Trey
and Matt. As far as the game goes,
Trey Parker and Matt Still, and they wrote a Broadway play called The Book of Mormon, and that was 12 years ago, and the sentiment has changed since then. So you want to know a lot of where that comes from. The biggest thing, guys, is this was a reaction. This wasn't when the BYU players came out of the tunnel to play the opening tip.
Yeah.
Like, we need some context here. This was not 40, 50 people in the U of A student section chanting this at the BYU players all game long. This was after what some in the crowd considered to be a semi-controversial call, and one of the BYU players in particular, you might know he transferred from the University of Utah, where he could not beat Arizona, decided to take both his hands and address the student section directly after the loss and call them all losers, and that's where the chant, by no means am I trying to make excuses for those 40 morons who decided to take it upon themselves to speak for the entire U of A fan base, but this was reactionary to the players who were taunting them after the loss. So again, I mean, there really is no correct answer. I just think Matt Painter says it best when he says this from yesterday.
See, a fan base isn't the people that tweet.
Exactly.
If I may, I just wanted to give my take on the game since I didn't call in on the Saturday. I mean, essentially, I just feel like BYU's offensive efficiency was spectacular, and I didn't want to see it, but I mean, it just seemed like they had every time they wanted us to guard them on the perimeter, they would drive right past us, and if we wanted to guard against all those backdoor drives, they would pull up and hit threes, and it was just left and right. It just kept coming. And I've been watching U of A basketball since 1982 or whatever, and almost without fail, when the pressure of McHale and our team is on the visitors, there's going to be some lull where the visitors just collapse for a 2-minute stretch. You go on a 9-0 run, you pull away, and you don't win every game, but at least you have that cushion. BYU never let up, and I just have to give them credit. I do think they got some help at the very end, but besides that, I just thought, they earned it. And sometimes teams are going to hit shots. And,
I think they made 9 of their last 13 or something of that nature.
And that's what Houston did when we were hanging right with Houston.
Right.
Uzan and that other guy, I forget his name, ended with a Y.
Yep.
They just decided to make like 7 out of 9 shots in a key stretch of the second half,
Doug,
and you lose.
When you saw Demon hit that logo 3 with like 0.5 on the shot clock, when he didn't even know the shot clock was running out, and his teammate yelled at him, and he just turned and threw it at the basket and it hit nothing but bottom, didn't you think, well, maybe it's the Cougars' night tonight?
Oh, yeah, and we've seen it through the years where some guy banks in a 3, accidentally, and we've done it too. We've done it too, and sometimes, and that means it's our night. But yes, I absolutely thought, oh boy, here we go.
They played great down the stretch. They played great. Coach Young has those guys really dialed in, and they have them all on the same page. They've got 10 guys. They got 8 shooters, and they're playing great basketball right now. That was my biggest takeaway from this game versus BYU.
Well, they rotated, 11 guys?
11 guys,
The narrative for us this whole year is that, teams are going to hang with us, but down towards the end of the game, our depth, our conditioning is going to tire them out. And we've seen it a lot where teams will hang with us and then they'll fade, Now, we've also had our times of blowing leads. But with BYU, I mean, you can focus on them finishing strong. To me, what I'm saying is I think they played a full 40 minutes, which you don't see very often. And they lost by 18 at Cincinnati, like within the last 2 weeks, and explain that one to me. But I just don't think if we play them, 10 more times, that they're going to ever put up 96 points again. It's just, it was their night, and give us credit that somehow, I didn't feel like we had our offense clicking, and somehow we scored 95. So give us credit for hanging with them, but they would have beaten, I'm pretty sure, just about anybody on Saturday night, the way they played.
The numbers, Doug, were very eerily similar to that game in 2009 when Jimmer put up 49 and they scored 99 points that night. They scored 96. Saturday night, I think they hit 14 threes in both of those games. It was just, I was looking just at the line the other night, and I was like, wow, crazy.
And guess what?
Crazy similar.
And guess what, David? Guess how many points we scored in that game? I think 69?
66.
And so that's my point, is that they played an equally astronomical game to what they did in 2009, but we met it. Like, we met the challenge, and we had a lead with 13 seconds left. So I'm encouraged by it. I don't think it's a super costly loss. It's a frustrating loss, but I don't think it's super damaging. It could be damaging, but knocks us down from a 3 seed to a 4 seed, because that could be a big difference this year. The drop-off between the 1s and the 2s in this tournament looks to be pretty apparent. And so if you have to play a 1 seed in the Sweet 16 versus the Elite 8, you'd rather have a 3 seed and be paired up with a 2. But other than that, and we can still earn our way back into a 3 seed with these big games coming up. And I'm with you also on the Big 12 tournament. I'm not too juiced about it. I think if you're going to play 20 games against this grueling schedule,
right?
Why should I care that much about a 3-day back-to-back in Kansas City?
I wouldn't be surprised if Kelvin Sampson just pulls all 5 of his starters off the court in the first game and just says, "We're not playing." Like I would not be surprised at all.
I think if Lute and Mike Montgomery were still alive and coaching, I mean Mike is, but I think that they would seriously consider doing the same, because especially with Tommy getting all the heat for the NCAA results the past 3 years. I mean, having just amazing regular seasons and then you could say flaming out. I think that, his focus really needs to be on the big dance. And so if that means, giving Conrad some minutes and maybe Emmanuel Steffen gets in there a little bit, I'm all for it. I'm not going to cry about it if we lose in the quarters to a TCU or something because he just didn't want to, tire out the starters.
Doug, appreciate your insight as always.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much. Bear down.
All right, Doug in Tucson. All right, let's get to cricket, who's got your traffic and weather every 20 minutes on the 5s, this time on a 1.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported Tangerine and Rancho Vistoso Boulevard and Tangerine, 6th and 6th Avenue and 6th Street, and possible collision, Ruth Ruff and La Cholla. 49 and clear tonight, sunny, 85 tomorrow, and 83 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Tucson, it's time for the Cologuard Classic by Exact Sciences, March 7th through the 9th at La Paloma Country Club and the Westin La Paloma Resort and Spa. See some of golf's greatest players compete for the coveted Conquistadors Helmet Trophy. It's PGA Tour Champions golf at its finest. Let's kick it! And Friday night, see the I Love the 90s Tour featuring Vanilla Ice, Rob Bass, and Tone Loc live in concert at Rillito Park. The Cologuard Classic by Exact Sciences, benefiting colorectal cancer awareness and youth sports. Tickets and more at CologuardClassic.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Main Event is a fun entertainment and dining destination where families can share in a variety of over 85 games and activities like laser tag, arcade games, bowling, billiards, and virtual reality experiences, all while enjoying craveable foods and drinks. The most fun you'll have under one roof. Main Event can also help you plan your next stress-free birthday party or create customized corporate or group events. View your many fun options at mainevent.com/Tucson. Main Event is located at I-19 in Irvington next to the Spectrum Mall. So get up and go play right now together and make every moment the main event.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Main Event. You can get an all-access pass for just $26, originally $52. Main Event's all-access pass includes unlimited bowling with shoe rental, laser tag, billiards, and shuffleboard, plus a $20 fun card for the arcade. And this sweet deal goes on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me?
Who said that?
Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you?
Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.
Doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The 2025 NFL Scouting Combine kicks off Thursday in Indianapolis. Shedeur Sanders, one of the top quarterback prospects, has announced he won't be throwing. Instead, Sanders plans to focus on team interviews, helping organizations get to know him better, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Elsewhere, the Rams have given veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford permission to speak with other teams about his market value, per NFL Network insiders Tom Pelissero and Rappaport. Stafford carries a nearly $50 million cap hit, but the Rams could save up to $27 million by trading or releasing the 37-year-old after June 1st. The Cardinals finished the 2024 season 8-9 and entered the offseason with more than $76 million in cap space, the fourth most in the NFL per over the cap. General Manager Monty Ossenfort says the team plans to be active in free agency, aiming to improve both now and for the future. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on our program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can also interact with this show by way of our app. Please do download our app. You can stream us anywhere by downloading the Wildcats 1290 app. Head over to wildcatsradio1290.com or just tell your smart speaker to play Wildcats Radio 1290. Text app to 520-848-1290, 848-1290. I'll send you a link to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app for your phone. You head to our app right now, the top story is the dismissal of B.J. Freeman at Arizona State. He was the Sun Devils' leading scorer, but according to a team spokesperson, I would imagine that's probably our guy, Doug Tamaro, to the Arizona Republic, which is the newspaper in Phoenix, he is no longer with the program.
The dreaded conduct detrimental to the team.
Right.
Never good.
No. He'd averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in 25 games. Had made 22 starts, but he was suspended for Arizona State's road loss at Oklahoma State back in early February because of said conduct detrimental to the team. He did return from that. That came after the head bunting incident with Caleb Love when the Wildcats won in Tempe, also earlier this month. He was a transfer from the University of Milwaukee. And so B.J. Freeman will not be making the appearance with the Sun Devils when they come down here to Tucson next week. Also, on the, I guess we could say the personnel front, if you were not with us earlier in the show, Utah is going to come to town. And they're going to be coming to town with an interim head coach on Wednesday because Craig Smith has been fired by the University of Utah, effective immediately. Assistant coach Josh Eilert will serve as interim coach for the rest of the season. Smith was 65-62 with the Utes. His team this year, 15-12, 7-9 in the Big 12, lost at Central Florida on Sunday, 76-72. That was following wins that they had against number 17 Kansas. They helped get Kansas swept on that Utah swing where they lost to both the Utes and the Cougars, and they'd also beaten Kansas State, but not enough to salvage the job for one Craig Smith, who had replaced one of my favorite guys. I was always a huge Larry Kristoviak fan back in the day.
Yeah, we called him West Coast Coach K.
West Coast Coach K. Exactly. Also, Indiana obviously is looking for a new head coach. They have dismissed Mike Woodson, and Michigan went. So Michigan hired Dustin May this year after last season. You remember the Wildcats lost to Florida Atlantic, and Michigan hired Dustin May as their head coach after the season to come up from Florida Atlantic. Well, they have already given him an extension because they did not want him to leave and go back to his alma mater, Indiana. How about that? How about that? Like, now, granted, Michigan, I think they're in first place, if I'm not mistaken. They're either first place or second place. I think they're the first place team in the Big 12, the Big 10. So he's already pushed that team into the top spot in the conference in this first season. So, yeah, they clearly had seen enough in whatever it's been, 8-10 months now, that they were like, nah, we got to extend this guy. So good on Dustin May for half a season or 3/4 of a season of work and getting a contract extension to keep him from leaving to go over to Bloomington, Indiana.
Well, he's got to be careful, though, because much like what we talked about with Craig Smith about the success of BYU over Utah,
right.
Michigan State is ahead of them by half a game right now in the Big
So
Ten.
Michigan State's in first place.
If Michigan State does better in this tournament, they're going to start asking questions. Okay, why did we give you the money?
Right.
Why did we give you the money if you can't beat Michigan State?
All right, we are joined by the fourth member of our team. It is Cricket. So do any of you shop at Whole Foods?
I try not to. It's too much.
Samesies.
Sames? Because it's too expensive? I mean, you don't like the fancy foods and stuff like that? Or
also,
what?
I'm not a fan of like seaweed chips and hummus.
Okay.
I went there and I bought this weekend. I bought something for a morning brunch thing. I bought a pie.
Okay.
So like things like that, like in and out of their deli. Boom, their rotisserie.
Yeah,
bomb.
Right.
Now, the main thing that I always think of when I go to the Whole Foods, when I absolutely have to.
You have to.
It's mostly for vitamins, but that's about it. Like some kind of vitamin supplement. I will say I was wondering where all of the different little shovels where you can get like your beans and your rice, like
by the pound or whatever.
I wondered where all those disappeared from the grocery stores I saw growing up. Now I know they all just went there.
That's where they are. Yep, that's exactly where they are.
Doesn't Jeff Bezos have enough money?
Yeah,
that's why I don't shop at Whole Foods.
Only if I have to.
Is that a Jeff Bezos thing?
Yeah, they bought it like 10 years ago.
Something
Amazon
like 10 years
bought
ago, yeah.
Whole Foods like 10 years ago, yeah.
See, I just don't like him because also goes back to my days in college. There was this really awesome electronics store up at NAU, and all of a sudden, my sophomore year, it just disappeared, and the Whole Foods took it over. And I was like, never again.
Never.
They took something from me, and therefore, I will never go back.
Wow, somebody holds a grudge.
Oh, yeah.
Whole Foods has taken something from me.
What now?
They took away the bar.
What bar? Like the cold hot bar?
No.
Like the food?
No. The bar where I can go get a drink, Cricket.
Wait, they have a bar? They have a bar?
No,
yes.
I think did they build over your bar?
Wait.
Well, no, they just took it away, and they've got like toys now, and the place where I used to be able to sit down and have a nice beer when I would go to Whole Foods. So Whole Foods, now again, I don't know how many there are here in Tucson. We shopped at the one on River Road and Craycroft.
Okay.
That one had a bar.
I didn't know
I think
that.
also the one on Oracle and Ina had a bar
That
as
makes
well.
sense.
Well, yeah, they've closed the bars.
So did
at
they
Whole Foods?
Was
like
it to
they
make-
shut them down.
Was it to make space for the new Amazon counter? Because now you can return everything there, by the way, for
really?
Amazon.
I did not know that was an Amazon return location
hence
now.
Jeff Bezos having enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
sorry to hear that.
Because it was actually a really cool little bar. It was like, they had a few TVs there, so you could go shopping, and then if you just wanted to, sit down, it was like, kind of a nice little cool neighborhood bar. We would go up there, my wife and I would go up there sometimes and just have a few beers or whatever not, and they put a good game on TV, and it was a cool place to hang out, but they have closed the bar at our Whole Foods, and that is extremely disappointing to me. I don't understand why they did it. Nobody seems to know why, other than the fact that they said, quote, that lady I asked there that was stocking, they said they wanted to go in a different direction. So, I'm extremely disappointed. But none of you had ever been to the bar at the Whole Foods?
I did not know that existed.
All right.
Well. Do they still sell alcohol?
No, yeah. You can buy alcohol there. Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe it was the liquor license was too expensive.
Yeah, they have alcohol. You can buy alcohol. You just can't sit there and have a beer or a glass of wine anymore and watch the Penguins.
You could pour it into your Stanley Cup.
Your Stanley Cup.
And nobody would even know.
I don't drink, but this Penguins team is making me think about it.
Right.
For the record,
Where
it
did
was
you get that? You can pour it into your Stanley Cup. Who told you that?
What I meant is like, okay, or your tumbler, your Yeti tumbler.
Yeah, not the Stanley Cup.
Not the Stanley
Cup.
Like
yeah.
I should say,
the
a Stanley
brand
tumbler.
cups.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
big jugs everyone
All
carries.
right.
That's what I meant.
I used to be able
Okay.
to put Capitals fans' tears in a Stanley Cup, but now they have their own, and I can't make that joke anymore.
For the record, it was $13.7 billion in August of 2017 is how much Amazon purchased Whole Foods for.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
All right. So rest in peace, the bar at your local Whole Foods. And I'm not talking about the hot bar, the bar where you could actually drink beer. All right. Cricket is going to be back in the 5 o'clock hour, and I hear she's got something for you.
Oh.
Not going to tell you what that is, but she's got something for you right now. She's got some traffic for you.
All right. From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Tangerine and Rancho Vistoso, 22nd Street and Columbus. Multi-vehicle crash there, some westbound slowing. Also clearing Ruth Ruff and La Cholla, 6th and 6th Street and 6th Avenue. Backups westbound Speedway approaching I-10. 49 and clear tonight, sunny, 85 tomorrow, and 83 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Why? Because you're not playing me.
With rapid-fire takes.
Y'all went from the Super Bowl straight to the toilet bowl. He's not over the NFL. The NFL is over him.
Scorching debates.
All the good, all the bad, all the ups, all the downs.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
Sorry for what I said because it was appropriate when I said it, but I can't say it anymore, dude. You are killing the game.
The Jim Rome Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Don't miss out on any of the action.
Knocked away and grabbed by Jaden Bradley. On the run to the bucket, slam it home.
As the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Bounce back to Basehart. Drives to the bucket and slams it home. Oh, he took off, Brian. Outside the lane. How did he dunk that? Love, mid-court. Shot is up. Good! Love has hit a three. We're going to overtime.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Main Event is a fun entertainment and dining destination where families can share in a variety of over 85 games and activities like laser tag, arcade games, bowling, billiards, and virtual reality experiences, all while enjoying craveable foods and drinks. The most fun you'll have under one roof. Main Event can also help you plan your next stress-free birthday party or create customized corporate or group events. View your many fun options at mainevent.com/Tucson. Main Event is located at I-19 in Irvington next to the Spectrum Mall. So get up and go play right now together and make every moment the main event.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Main Event. You can get an all-access pass for just $26, originally $52. Main Event's all-access pass includes unlimited bowling with shoe rental, laser tag, billiards, and shuffleboard, plus a $20 fun card for the arcade. And this sweet deal goes on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at wildcatsradio1290.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck and Van Equipment. They're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. Will the Tennessee Titans trade the first overall pick? Will they pass on a quarterback and take either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter? Or will they take either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders to be their franchise QB? And I'm ready to make a prediction, and I think Tennessee will hold on to the pick, and they'll draft quarterback Cam Ward with the first selection of the 2025 NFL Draft. I'm Zach Gelb.
Save on your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Choose Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil to provide maximum performance and protection for your engine. Get a $15 gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge for $34.95. Plus 2 times O Rewards points. Offer valid in-store and online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. If you were out at the rodeo this weekend, give us a call, 520-848-1290. Congratulations to all the winners from this past weekend out there. I heard it was sold out Saturday and Sunday. Again, a perfect weekend to be out at the rodeo. If you're upset like me that the bar at Whole Foods closed, I want to hear from you. 520-848-1290. I didn't even know this. Well, it tells you how great a patron I am. I hadn't been there in a while. So this apparently happened in early November, and I just found out about it last week when I went in there. My wife and I, and she's like, "Oh, did you know they closed the bar?" And I'm like, "What? What do you mean they closed the bar? What are you talking about?" So this is what they said on Foodies of Tucson. It's a Facebook page. It says, "Please be advised the East River Bar inside the Whole Foods Market at Craycroft and River will be closing after November the 3rd. We went there last night for a burger and a beer, which was excellent as always. The food was good. All the regulars at the bar are heartbroken. The server behind the bar said that corporate gave no reason for the closure. It seems that it has done a good business over the last 5 years. I can't imagine what items they could put in that space. Toys. That's what was there when I went. Toys. Like we need toys in Whole Foods?
Well, one is to distract the dudes who don't want to be shopping, and the other is to distract the kids who don't want to be shopping. So it's just two different lanes. That's all.
So yeah, apparently this this bar closed, and then the one at Oracle closed not too long after that. But I always thought that was a little bit different, though, to have a bar in a grocery store. I mean, how many grocery stores have bars? I always thought, oh wow, this is kind of a cool concept, though. But apparently, for whatever reason, Whole Foods did not like the concept any longer and decided to do away with it.
If only there were other bars in Tucson for you to go to.
Also, I'd imagine that a grocery store is probably thinking, if we get to a point where there's going to be a conversation of how much did you serve this gentleman before he left your property, then it's going to be a lot more. Because, like, with a bar, there's a semblance of, like, okay, no, we have our liquor license. We have to go ahead and monitor this very, very closely. If you're a bartender working at a grocery store, I'm not saying that the person there's not going to be mindful of it, but is a grocery store going to want to deal with that potential litigation for someone?
Well, it's even worse than that. I mean, having been in that position for a long time in my life, unless the laws have changed, if a drunk person comes in and you refuse to serve them and then they go out and do something bad, that's your responsibility as well. Yeah. So you're responsible for anybody who comes within your vicinity for making sure that they don't go out and do something dumb while overly intoxicated.
Plus, just think about this. If you go into the bar and you start drinking and you leave with like a closed bottle of wine that you bought from the store's liquor store area, does that not also count as them leaving the premises with some kind of a container?
I think people at the buffet drinking the lowest quality tequila humanly possible, you kind of have to worry about. But shoppers at Whole Foods probably aren't there to go get super drunk.
I don't even remember if you were allowed to take your drink outside the bar area.
I'd imagine
I don't think you couldn't do that. I don't remember being able to do that. Some of these comments are actually kind of funny. This one guy says, "A bar inside Whole Foods? The whole concept sounds crazy. It's like expecting a discotheque inside Fry's or a cigar lounge inside Bash's. Weird concept."
I could see Costco because it's so big that you're going to get lost in there and you might as well have a beer while you're lost. But if it's not a gigantic store, I don't know.
That's what the rotisserie chicken is for, to get you to the back of the store. And you have
need
to
the
see
energy.
everything there.
Yeah, you got to have the energy to get there.
If they put a bar even further back of Costco, all of a sudden then you're starting to get I guess I do need to get some paper products before I leave. That would be the next step, and then tricking people into getting even more stuff that they don't need.
All right, we were talking about some of the personnel issues or personnel changes. I don't know if they're issues, but changes in college basketball. Utah has fired basketball coach Craig Smith. He will not be here when the team arrives tomorrow for their game on Wednesday against the Wildcats. That game will be a little earlier, 7 o'clock versus 8 or 9. 7 o'clock on Wednesday night at McHale Center. 2 home games left. That's it. We're marching to March. Marching to the madness. At the end of this week, 1 home game this week, 1 home game next week against ASU next week to finish this thing out at home. And one of the other coaching jobs that's open is the University of Indiana. And I want you to hear, the Wildcats played Purdue last year. Matt Painter is the head coach
They were supposed to play this year too, right?
Yeah.
But they got canceled,
Right. Matt Painter is the head coach at Purdue, which is obviously Indiana's rival. And he was asked about the job at Indiana, and he talked a little bit about that, but he also talked about the infestation of keyboard fans that have infiltrated college sports and at times can be the loud ones. It goes back to a little bit what we're talking about, the handful of people who chanted naughtiness the other night at McHale Center. You have those same folks, they're keyboard warriors.
We could just call them the squeaky wheels.
The squeaky wheels, exactly. The Roberts and the K-Dubs who only call or interact with our show after Tommy Lloyd's team loses a game. Here's what Matt Painter had to say about the Indiana job, and those of you who can put yourself in the class of being a keyboard complainer.
The guy that's the coach here is a peer of mine. Even though you compete and want to beat somebody, you want to see other people be successful and keep their job, just like any of you guys would think the same thing about the other people sitting to your left and right. So it's like anything. You got to get a good person, you got to get a good coach, you got to get a guy to understand it. They've had a lot of turnover, obviously. I think you got to look at some of the common denominators here more than anything. I think that's an important piece right here. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Let's support somebody. I gotta try that out for once every now and then. When it goes wrong, whatever, you think Purdue fans are happy about what just happened? See, a fan base isn't the people that tweet. A fan base is the people when you're bleeding, they support you. They jump in and off, they jump on and off things here, way too much. Support your coach, man, support your players. Don't tweet negative things about them. Be supportive. See how that works for you. But they build them up, and they overdo things. Quit overdoing it. Just accurately, talk about what's actually happened. Don't, get, recruits and, that's Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Then they come out here. Well, they're not Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. They're good college players. And then they build it up, and then they go, well, what's wrong? Well, they're part of it. But it's not their total fan base. It's just that everyone has a bad percentage of their fan base now because of Twitter. And then we think that's their fan base. It's not our fan base. It's not their real fan base either. And so I think that's an important piece. But it's hard for young people to hear all that and then go out and collectively play hey, man, we're playing for you guys, but you dog us when we lose, and then we're the best when we win. Well, we're somewhere in between, right? So, like, I think they need to learn from some of those things and support Scott Dolson and support the new coach and support the staff, but also kind of be grounded with everything. And they'll be able to, I think they'll be able to have success. It's just a different world now. We have 18 teams, right? We're going to go into the name, image, and likeness, and some changes are going to be made here in April. So it'll be real interesting to see just the landscape for everybody.
All right, that was Matt Painter, the head coach at Purdue, talking a little bit about the situation at his rival Indiana, as well as the fans that come out of the woodworks when things are not going well for college programs. We talked earlier in this show about the situation involving the Arizona student section after the game. I want to read you just a little bit of this columnist from the Salt Lake Tribune that wrote this story after it. His name is Gordon Monson. Here's what Gordon Monson said about the chant that was made against BYU at McHale Center the other night. He said he's referring to the apology that was issued by the athletics department. He says, usually the apologies include a line in them, as did this one scratched out by Arizona Vice President of Athletics Desiree Reed-Francois, saying the chant is not reflective of who we are and should not have happened. Monson goes on to say, not sure about the first half of that sentence. And as for the second half, let's all chant together, no bleep. So Gordon Monson kind of saw it as I did in terms of the first half of that sentence being, it is not reflective of who we are, because it absolutely is reflective of who you are.
Who is, though? Like who the Arizona fan base is, who people in Tucson is, or who 40 people in the U of A student section
Well,
are?
again, you can go back to any conversation involving, say, your family. My brother said this, but that's not reflective of our family. Well, yeah, it is, because that's your brother. Your brother is reflective of your family.
So because your brother says something, everybody in your family thinks the same?
No, but it's reflective. It doesn't necessarily mean you all think the same, but he is a reflection of you. He may not be the reflection that you want of your family, but he's your family, and as a result of that, he's a reflection of you. That's what I'm saying.
Of course, if an individual does something, then that individual made that choice to do that thing. And if that individual is surrounded by other people who either work in the same profession or are part of the same family or are wearing the same shirt color that day, I don't assume that all other people wearing that same shirt color that day feel the same person has made the choice individually to do that thing or say that thing. That's just the way I see the world. I don't see that, connectivity between, does this reflect poorly on the U of A fan base? Of course, because it happened in McHale. It happened in Tucson. Should never have happened. I bet you the fans who've been coming to McHale for 55 or 60 years think just the same as that BYU columnist feels, that it was unnecessary and should never have happened. I don't believe those 65, 80-year-olds who are in the stands and have been for 50 years are responsible for the actions of those 40 people. Does it reflect upon the whole fan base? Of course, because it happened in our building, and it never should have happened. I also think that that's not, you can't put that at the feet of those people who have been longtime boosters and supporters of the program and tell them to affect change because some morons decided to come interject their own opinions does not reflect upon the overall fan base and how they feel about the Mormon religion or the school that's in Provo.
And it's just really quickly kind of go on to that one and kind of piggyback off of it. Are we going to say that the one person who threw a beer on Ron Artest is reflective of the entire Detroit Pistons fan base? No, it's reflective of the
Well,
one
that's
idiot.
one person.
Oh,
yeah.
but that's my point.
You can
is that-
define down to one person.
But it doesn't define to the people who then decided to go onto the court and look to get into a fight with a guy, which, by the way, again, we need to just always go on about the people who decided to get on the court, try to pick a fight with Ron Artest. Really? You thought you were going to win that? You really thought you were going to win that fight? No, you weren't going to win that fight, buddy.
I mean, Ron Artest beat up Michael Jordan when Ron Artest was 17.
Yeah.
Jordan was 30. So,
yeah. And even if it's not Ron Artest, I was like, oh, I'm going to get on the court. I'm going to sucker punch Stephen Jackson. Like, no, you're not winning that fight, man. You're not going to win that fight. But those people that did decide to go ahead and get out of their seats and go onto the court trying to engage with players that they had no business engaging with.
I have some personal.
It's reflective on that.
I have a personal anecdote about this. When I was growing up here, there was the Martin Luther King holiday, DK, was voted upon by Arizonans and did not pass. And the national narrative was, quote, Arizonans are racist. That's what every national pundit was saying.
Yeah.
There were songs written about it by Public Enemy. Now,
what was
lost in the fold there was a lot of the reasoning behind that was the rodeo holiday, which already is 2 extra days that kids get out of school, had nothing to do. Adding any holiday, David Kelly. Now, the spin on that was it must be a racist sentiment why people are voting this down. There was a lot more nuance involved in that. Growing up here and being surrounded by people who didn't have an ounce of racism in their entire bodies, and just the blanket statement that all Arizonans are, quote, racist because this did not pass. I was 14 at the time. I couldn't even vote. That, to me, is a good example of what I'm talking about. It's not the state of Arizonans chose to vote against that because they don't like Dr. Martin Luther King. There was other reasonings behind that gets lost. Now, these 40 or 50 morons in the student section who chanted this, we're going to take a look at the video and the offending people who are involved in this. We're going to potentially have some conversations with them, and they might not be allowed into McHale again. As opposed to all of Tucson is responsible for this chant. All of the 40 million Arizona fans spread throughout the world are responsible for these 50 people. I just don't see the world that way.
No, but you do have, but to finish on your point there, you've got to police your people.
Yes. Without a doubt.
You've got to police your people. All right, DK on the sports tip. We can dive more into that in the last hour, the 5 o'clock hour. We'll hear from Clancy Shields. His tennis team had a big win over San Diego, number 7 team in the country over the weekend. Dragon Ball's got everything happening in sports in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Well, again, it was a nail-biting loss for Arizona's men's basketball team this past weekend. And as the BYU Cougars paid the Wildcats back for that loss that they suffered in BYU earlier this year, many pointed to the late call on Trey Townsend fouling Richie Saunders as a turning point. But Coach Tommy Lloyd was candid as to what he felt was the real issue to that game.
I did. It's a bad call. I mean, whatever. What am I going to say? I mean, you hate for a game to be decided by that. I mean, Trey, I feel horrible for him. The guy didn't play in the second half. I tightened the rotation. He played good defense. Guy's pivoting, throws his shoulder at him, throws up a shot and falls down. It's a foul with 2 seconds to go. I mean, listen, it's the Big 12. That's what I'm told. And the guy who called it's one of the best refs. So, we got to live with it. But step back. They scored 93 points up to that point on our home court. That's the problem. That's the problem. Me and my staff and our players, that's the problem, not the officials. It would have been great to steal a victory, if they don't call that, but still don't put yourself in that position. That's the problem.
Again, now the Cats turn their attention to the other squad from Utah and the Utah Utes, which will be having a big change as they will be without head coach Craig Smith after he was relieved of his duties earlier today. And the struggles for the Suns defensively continue to arise as the team could not find a way to stop the lottery-bound Raptors late in the fourth quarter over the weekend. After managing to bring it within 2, Toronto then went on a 22-6 run in the final 5 minutes. The Suns now a game and a half out of the 10th and final spot in the play-in out in the West. And eyes will be on the NFL Combine for this year's highly touted prospect. But Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders has announced that he will not be working out for teams at the Combine. He will go ahead and talk to teams there and be present at Lucas Oil Stadium. Again, Sanders hopes to build on his position as the top QB in this year's draft opposite of Miami's Cam Ward. And joining him in skipping the workouts will be Penn State pass rusher Andre Carter. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Some light slowing on westbound I-10 approaching Ruth Ruff. Got collisions reported Tangerine and Rancho Vistoso, 22nd Street and Columbus, Ruth Ruff and La Cholla, and also 6th and 6th Avenue and 6th Street. 49 and clear overnight, sunny, 85 tomorrow, and 82 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Your home for U of A football.
Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Arizona.
Men's basketball.
Midcourt. Shot is up. Good.
And baseball.
Here comes the winning run. And the Cats have won it.
Wildcats Radio, 1290.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the sports tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is our phone number. It is hour number 3 of our show. So we've got regular shows Monday and Tuesday this week because the Wildcats do not play again until Wednesday night at home against the Utah Utes. That'll be a 7 o'clock game, which means our coverage will start at 3:30. 3:30. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day on Wednesday with tip-off Brian and Ryan at 7 o'clock. Let's hear from Barbara. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi. I've been listening to the conversation about the students saying bad things about the BYU students, calling them whatever. And I think you guys are giving the students a little bit too much credit. I really feel that what they did is just a sign of the times. People say whatever they think. They don't care if they insult people anymore. And, you know, the U of A, I graduated from the U of A. I love going to basketball games at McHale, and I am proud of my school. That was a low moment. And those students should be identified and kept from the games because you can't just say terrible things. It was a great game. We lost by 1 point. It was a bad call at 1 second to go. But you know what? At the end, BYU beat us by 1 point. And to say things, rude comments, it's just, it should stop. And those kids, they don't realize it, but that really hurts our school. And it hurts the basketball team. And Tommy Lloyd, what must he think? He's trying to have a good basketball team, and people are just being awful to the opponents. We're getting to the point where the players can't even go through and shake hands with each other anymore. And what is that about? You know, it's going too far. And I believe that the kids should be ejected from the rest of the games. And maybe they'll learn a lesson and keep their mouths shut.
I absolutely agree with that. I don't, I think it would be hard because, again, I think in a professional situation, it's probably a little bit easier to identify season ticket holders and that kind of thing because you know whose seats those are. But in an open seating section like that, unless they've got that high-tech technology that we used to see on that show Vegas where they could go – I don't know if did you ever watch the show Las Vegas back in the day?
Yes.
Where they had that high-tech technology and they could pick out people's faces in the casino and all that. Unless we got that, I don't know if you're getting too many of those kids by identification.
Well, they do have a DK because every single one of those kids in that student section was live streaming themselves during the event. So therefore, there are many perspectives of that going down from them. I guarantee you those are around online if people really wanted to go find out who was responsible.
It was not a nice time for our school. And after just a heck of a game, the players played their hearts out. And then to have this going on in this conversation, it's just not necessary. Yeah. And people need to learn. We need to have more manners.
We do.
And so that's all. I love Tommy. I love the basketball team. I love the girls' basketball team. We are so lucky to have them in Tucson. And instead of turning it into a garbage dump, let's keep it nice.
There we go.
All. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks for calling and call back anytime with your thoughts on Arizona basketball or Arizona athletics in general. Okay. Hey, Fred. Fred wants his top play of the day. That's how desperate he is. He's like, enough of these talking about these stupid college kids. Give me my bets. Time for your BetMGM Network play of the day. And it's brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
I'm Michael Jenkins here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Dead Texas is betting the over on Trae Young's assists on the second night of a back-to-back. Trae Young has dished out 14, 13, and 14 dimes in his last 3 games, and the Heat allow the 5th most assists per game to point guards, while Young leads the NBA with 11.4 assists per game. We expect him to drop some dimes tonight. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Flowers, chocolate, more flowers, more chocolate.
Searching for the perfect Valentine's gift? Oro Ford's got you covered. Save 10 grand off MSRP on new 2024 F-150s and new 2024 Super Duty trucks. Or get an incredible 12 grand off MSRP and new 2020 Ford Expeditions. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson for the sweetest deals all February long. Only at Oro Ford and oroford.com, where you'll always get 2% tax savings and no dealer add-ons.
Restrictions may apply. Not everyone will qualify. See Oro Ford for details.
All right, so there you go. We got Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this is interesting because, again...
Not for long.
Oh, where do you think he's going?
Anywhere but there. They don't... Yeah, he's definitely not going to be long-term, I don't think.
All right. Well, that's too bad because I know they love him down there. My cousin has his jersey. He's 22. He loves it. So he's going to be really upset. So there's 2 ways you can go with this, because if you go plus 10, I think they said he's averaging, last 5 games, he's averaging over 11 assists per game. If you go plus 10, that's at minus 250. But if you go plus 12, that's at plus 115. So you got a chance to win some money on your money if you take Trae Young plus 12. So just for which one should we take, guys? Should we take plus 10 or plus 12? I'll let you guys
Well, he's averaging 11.5 per on the season.
Right.
Just for the record. Like he averages 11.5 per game. Period.
Okay.
10's the easy money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say take the 10 just for the sake of the fact that you want to make sure that you come away with something.
The problem is, and the reason why he's probably not going to be there long term, is 19-4, 22-3. It's the inconsistency. That's the problem. So the reason that it's 11.5. So one day you're going to get 5 assists Trae Young. The next day you're going to get 25 assists Trae Young. That's how he plays.
All right. We'll take plus 10 then on that bet and see how we come out. We're still minus money right now. We also got McNeese State tonight on the college side, minus 14.5 over Texas Rio Grande Valley at minus 109. So that's 1187 return on our 1290 bet. Those are your top plays from BetMGM Network, brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle. All right, Cricket is back with us, and Crickets got tickets.
Insert big explosion. Yes.
It's like you watch. My wife watches that show Big Bang, and they used to, the one guy, the Indian guy, used to have, like, he would do like game night, and he would always have these sound effects for game night when he would say,
"Oh, that's great."
Yeah, he like one night he like threw this thing and it like exploded, like threw this thing to the ground and like exploded, and then he would have like music like bum 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 bum, that kind of thing. Like,
we need that.
Oh yeah, we need something like that.
It sounds messy.
It does. It was fun. I like watching that show with my wife on occasion.
Nice.
All right, what do we got, Cricket?
So here's your chance to win 2 tickets to see the Tucson Roadrunners take on the Rockford Ice Hogs at the Tucson Arena this Friday, February 28th.
Okay.
The Ice Hogs?
What?
Do you know what is it? What's an ice hog?
Is that pigs on skates?
It is a hog that has very drastically misinterpreted what the land is. That is what
the lay of the land is? Okay. Yeah. Well, any hoodle. I do have 2 tickets for caller 1 to see the Roadrunners and those Ice Hogs. 520-848-1290, 848-1290. Get you into the arena so you can figure out what the heck an ice hog is.
Yeah, please, and come back and call and tell me so I know what an ice hog is.
Yeah, take some pictures and post them on socials. I mean, so they have a pig mascot actually skating maybe on ice?
Nah, it's just it's a hog that is very, very angry is the best way of putting it.
Oh, that's perfect.
I think it's a Midwest thing.
Yeah, it's just a red pig with a hockey stick inside of its mouth. It's not actually on skates, but they do have a mascot where the mascot will be on the ice and it throws around a little flag.
But it's not a pig?
No, it's a pig. It is a pig. I'm trying to get the picture up here for Cricket to see. But yeah, no, it's an actual person in a hog outfit on skates.
Oh, that thing looks angry like a javelina.
Yes, no, it's a
boy.
very
Angry.
angry pig.
Angry pig on skates.
It'll be a great
Even
game,
better.
though. You know,
Even better.
And don't forget, if you can't win tickets through us, tickets on sale now. TucsonRoadrunners.com. Again, caller 1-520-848-1290, and good luck.
All right, Cricket's got tickets as she always does. We'll have to see. Maybe you think you might have some golf tickets next week, because I want to go out.
Golf tickets.
I want to go out to the golf tournament.
Wait, just to watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know.
Got to bring a hat because it's getting warm now.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
You know,
They
and
got beer out there, I'll tell you that much.
They have a bar out there.
I know they got beer there.
Yeah.
They're not going to take the beer from. They might take the beer from my Whole Foods, but they sure ain't going to take it from my golf course.
The only bar you want to be a part of at the golf course is the bar with the alcohol, not the sandbar. You want to avoid that.
Exactly. Avoid the sandbar. All right, Cricket's getting you home with your traffic and your weather.
And from the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported at Euclid and Speedway Boulevard, Irvington and Midvale Park, Tangerine and First Avenue, and also earlier multi-vehicle collision at 22nd and Columbus. Some slowing westbound on Ajo at Mission. 49 and clear overnight, sunny, 85 tomorrow and 82 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The jungle has moved to afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for a free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC. This is freaking me out. Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent. Doesn't it feel good? We're all transparent. And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The top-ranked team in college basketball lost yesterday. Number 1, Notre Dame went on the road and fell to 13th-ranked NC State, 104-95 in double overtime. The victorious Wolfpack are now the first team this century to score 100 points against an AP number 1 opponent. North Carolina State was led by sophomore Zoe Brooks, who finished with 33 points and 10 rebounds. For Notre Dame, their 19-game winning streak has now come to an end. Now, head coach Niele Ivey and her squad will have to regroup for the final week of the regular season.
Incredible environment, a lesson for us as far as wanting to be better defensively. That's where my focus is being better defensively. But again, double overtime, amazing matchup in the ACC. Yeah, we got to get better. We got to learn from it and move forward.
Notre Dame is back in action on Thursday against Florida State. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
Your old or broken phone can let you down. But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence with a new line on My Plan and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. After all, you don't want your old phone to die on you when you're lost.
Perfect.
Or for your broken phone to glitch at the worst possible time.
Hey, can I get your number? Oh.
Trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Caller number 1 was the play for tickets to see the Tucson Roadrunners and the Rockford Ice Hogs this Friday night at the arena. And we have a winner. Mark, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290. Congratulations, Mark. You're going to see the Roadrunners.
Thank you, sir. Oh, my God. You guys are awesome.
Mark, are you a hockey fan?
Oh, yeah. My 11-year-old little girl is a huge Roadrunner fan.
Okay. Do you have an NHL team you guys follow?
No, it was the Arizona team, you know, the Coyotes or whatever.
Yes.
But, no, we're not following Utah.
Okay, not following Utah. All right, I get it. Even though a lot of those players played here, and your daughter probably watched some of them. I know.
It's just, I wish they never left.
Yeah, it's kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Cool. So you're gonna take
this.
Yeah.
Let's go Tucson. Let's go Tucson.
There you go. I like. So you guys got all the chants and everything down. Does your daughter have a jersey?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Well, you got to get her a jersey. Maybe get her name put on the back of it. What's her name?
Leah Mejia.
Leah Mejia.
Yeah.
Was that your idea? Was that your idea? Was that your idea or your wife's idea?
That's kind of cordial.
Okay. All right. How old is Leah?
She's 11.
All right. Does she skate at all? Can she skate?
Oh yeah, she loves it. We went to the open ring thing like a few months back when when the season started.
All right.
And yeah.
Well, they got a women's team at the U of A now, a club team. Maybe she can grow up and be a part of that potentially.
I will let her know, but she's a kind of girly girl.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean you can't get out there and break your nose a little bit, right?
I'm more worried about her teeth.
Oh, your teeth,
but,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, as long as she has a mouthpiece, I think she'll be all right.
Well, Wayne Gretzky never hit anybody,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
He had other people hit people for him.
Right. Yeah.
There's a place
and they
out
got
there.
the shield and all that.
Wasn't nobody
We'll
gonna mess up?
see.
Wasn't nobody gonna mess up his LA star face? No, not even close. Not even close.
That USA game was awesome, though.
Wasn't
they were messing
it?
some
Yeah.
faces up the other day. Oh,
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I hope
was
we see.
beautiful.
I hope we see more of that in the future.
most definitely. We will.
There you go.
But you guys rock so much. You fill our afternoons, and man, thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely, Mark. Thank you for listening. JW got his information. We're good to go there?
We are good to
Okay.
go.
Mark, have fun with Leah.
Okay, we will. And let's go Tucson. We got this. All right, y'all.
Thanks,
Thank
Mark. All right. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Speaking of that team known as UHC, the Utah Hockey Club, which houses many of the men who played for the Roadrunners. They got a big win last night, and the winning goal was provided by a guy who was playing here in Tucson last season.
And now Sergachev across. Here's Schmaltz. Right to the front, they score! Dylan Gunther tipped in front, and it's a power play. Go ahead, goal late.
Dylan Gunther, he was hurt for a little part of the season, but back and just continuing to light up the lamp is Dylan Gunther. He and Logan Cooley are two of the younger players on this team right now. And now Logan, unfortunately, did not play here. He's pretty good. He went right from the University of Minnesota to playing with the National League club last season. He just completely skipped any minor league play whatsoever. But Dylan Gunther obviously spent some time here the last couple of seasons playing with the Tucson Roadrunners. They are 20 and 21 years old.
With your 2020 Sports Update
Those
on Wildcats
two
Radio 1290.
guys. And head coach Andre Torigny was asked if the young guys, Cooley and Gunther, are starting to make this their team.
Pretty good play to lead to those two goals by a little bit older players. So I don't see our player with their age and their back. You know what I mean? For me, it's at the moment you make the team, now it's what you can do. How can you help the team? In which situation you can help the team? How can you perform on a consistent basis and stuff like that? So I understand the fact they're young, but they're a good player as well. I think there's Cool's did not play a long time, come back, he get that touch, good for him. He will be better. He still have growth in his game. His game is not where it was. Gunner's playing solid in hockey. He's playing 5-on-5 defensively, offensively. Get on the forecheck. He's playing good. That line is playing really good hockey. So, yeah, I'm happy about. Okay, I'm excited about the 21 years old, but how old is 8? Don't know how old he is, but does he play hockey? He's solid. You know what I mean? He's rock solid. So I think there's a good team on the other side who they knew how important was that game. And we arrived and we played solid.
Yeah, he talks about 8. That would be Nick Schmaltz, another fantastic young player for the UHS, Utah Hockey Club. And that was a big win for them because the Vancouver's got a pretty good record this year. And so to get that 2-1 win, a good victory for the UHC last night in the NHL. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. If you want to talk some hockey, we can do that. Arizona women's basketball, we talked about them a little bit at the top of the show. Their game in Houston ended dramatically, much like the game here for the men ended dramatically. Derek Palmer had the call on it. U of A got up to a quick 9-point lead down in Houston on Saturday night.
Williams takes it, pops it, got it. 3-pointers up and down, and the Cats strike first. Jada now up and down near the foul line. 6 seconds as she goes to Cunningham. Get it right back. Cut it to the left. Step back. Another three is on the way and rattles in. 2 3 balls for Jada to start the offense. Cunningham turns and faces up on McFarland all the way to the rim to score it right to left as she's fouled.
So it was a 9-point lead like midway through the first quarter for Arizona, but by the end of the first quarter, Houston had come back and taken the lead, and then they would build on that lead in the second stanza.
Merchant and Love. Swan tries to get the ball away from Blair. Can't get it. Instead, she's going to be wide open at the three-point line and has the answer. On the outside, gives way. Love going to wind up a three-point shot. She shoots 16% and just knocked one down cold. 31-22. Wildcats are feeling a little bit like they're on the ropes.
They were on the ropes. They would go into the break down 9. The Houston Cougars would lead by 11 at the end of 3. I remember we walked out of here Saturday night, and I'm thinking to myself, are they really going to lose to a 1-win in conference?
I was going to say, you have yet
Cougars?
to mention this was a 1-17 Houston Cougar team, right? I mean, they had 5 wins on the whole season this year, right?
Yeah, 5 wins. But the Wildcats would rally in the fourth quarter.
Ball is inbounded to Cook at the baseline, and then pass was intended for Love, but it hit her in the head. It's taken away instead by Jones, who's able to get that one going to the left side. 10-0 run for the Wildcats. They trail just 3. 7th turnover here in the fourth quarter. As the ball is inbounded to Cunningham, trying to back down, puts it up short after the help from McFarland, been able to get that rebound back up and good. It's a 1-point game. 12 straight scored by the Wildcats. 1 minute to go, and Arizona can reclaim a lead. Has not had one since the first quarter. Williams back to the near side where it's had by Cunningham after the feed from Rolfe, and Arizona leads 61-60, and the Cougars have to use a timeout to advance it with the offense completely stalled. Whoa, brother.
Oh, sister. The Wildcats would have a 3-point lead with under 2 seconds to go in this game. How about some dramatics at the end of regulation?
Merchant gets this inbounded to Love, turns and puts a three-pointer up off the front rim, and it falls. I'm telling you, if Houston doesn't win today, it never will again.
Derek.
The quick release on that shot was so perfect. That was about as good a last second, need to have a 3 to make a game and don't have much time on the clock to do it, catch and shoot type of situation you'll ever see.
So a desperation 3 sends the game into overtime. Wildcats, though, would take charge in overtime.
Wildcats get a stop. Now trying to get the lead back. Jones goes top of the key. Rolfe goes to the left block. Bay, as everybody just kind of forgot about her. Love doesn't want to commit a personal, and Isis with an easy finish. Rolfe will inbound. Looking initially at Cunningham. Instead, it's out between the circles. Williams trying to go one-on-one against Cook. Stops outside the block. Puts it off the glass to score. 50.3 seconds left. It's tied. Instead, they go with Bay. She's going to try to attack Bostock. She's got players surrounding her. She goes to the rim and rolls it in. Instead, it's going to be Jones between the circles. Starts moving to the left. Goes up as a foul is called with the horn sounding. And Houston's coach is on the floor hollering.
Yeah, that would be Ronald Huey. Ronald was not happy with that call. It came as the buzzer was about to expire, which would have been a second overtime between one-win Houston and Arizona, but instead it was not. And here's what transpired.
Jones is going to be all alone at the charity stripe. 4 Cougars standing in front of her. First free throw is up and in. It's a 1-point game. Second one is good. 2-point game, 1.3 seconds left. Bostock gives way as it's inbounded, deflected, and a traveling violation is going to end it, or they're going to put time on the clock. All right, the Cats win.
74-72 in overtime, the final. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. We'll talk with Clancy Shields, the men's tennis coach at U of A, when we come back.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowing on westbound Ajo at Mission, southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way for backups. Roadwork, the 6th Avenue underpass closes weekdays, Toole Avenue to 7th Street, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. through mid-March. 49 and clear overnight, sunny and 85 tomorrow and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Tucson, it's time for the Cologuard Classic by Exact Sciences, March 7th through the 9th at La Paloma Country Club and the Westin La Paloma Resort and Spa. See some of golf's greatest players compete for the coveted Conquistadors Helmet Trophy. It's PGA Tour Champions Golf at its finest. And Saturday night, under the stars, see Co Wetzel live in concert at Rieto Park. The Cologuard Classic by Exact Sciences, benefiting colorectal cancer awareness and youth sports. Tickets and more at cologuardclassic.com.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Lowe's knows how to help you get the most out of your store run. That's why members save more with My Lowe's Rewards. Earn points towards My Lowe's money on eligible purchases. Get access to member-only deals and free member gifts. Plus, unlock free standard shipping when you reach Silver Key status. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Keep your business in the know with the USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off?
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off?
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Wow! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's the 2-1 to Miron. He'll rip this one out to deep center field. Howard's going back at the wall. That's gone. Miron. Voila. Arizona takes the lead here in the bottom of the fifth.
What did Brody say?
First home run in a Wildcat uniform for Matisse Miron.
Miron Wawa?
That's gone. Miron. Voila.
Miron Wawa.
I was going to say, I thought he said voila, but I'm not sure.
We might have to get Brody on to clarify that one. Matisse Miron is your Big 12 newcomer of the week, a co-newcomer of the week in Big 12 baseball. Great weekend for him. Homered in back-to-back games, drove in 5 runs. Wildcats swept San Diego. Also beating San Diego this past weekend was Arizona men's tennis. The Toreros were the number 7 team in the country and had the number 1 doubles tandem coming in here. Had a chance to catch up with the head coach, Clancy Shields. It is your Desert Diamond Casino replay. Desert Diamond Casino, Arizona's best bet. And I asked the head coach about a 4-zip win and dispatching of the Toreros relatively quickly.
Yeah, well, San Diego's been one of the top teams all season. They were 9-1 coming into the tournament. I think they'd beaten 5 or 6 top 20 teams. And so obviously it was one of the big matches we circled. And it was funny because I didn't know the baseball team was in town, and their whole team ended up showing up at our match. And they started chirping our guys a little bit. And then I got the opportunity to text Chip afterwards. I said, go get after them tonight, Chip. They came out and were trying to get under our skin. So, no, it is all fun. But San Diego's a great program. Another top 10 win for our team. We went on the road earlier this year and beat number 9 Florida State. And so, things are looking good for our program, and I still feel there's so much room to grow. And our team's so young. 50% of our team are freshmen, and they're in their first year. And so we got a lot of work to do, but very happy where we're at this point in the season.
The doubles match obviously was one to kind of point to number 1 team in the country coming in on the doubles side for San Diego, but Jay Friend and Eric Padham took care of them 6-1. When you have a team of that magnitude or a pair of that magnitude, what was the game plan for what you wanted Jay and Eric to do to attack them to try at least win? And then they obviously went out there and crushed them.
So Jay and Eric actually played number 2 and beat another ranked team. Our number 1 team, Colton Smith and Iñaki, beat the number 1 team in the country. But both of our teams, Eric and Jay, undefeated on the year, haven't lost a match. And then Colton and Iñaki, we kind of put them together a few weeks ago. And throughout the last couple of weeks, you could see this group kind of gelling together, and they were getting excited about playing the number 1 team in the country. I mean, how many times in your career do you get to say you beat the number 1 player in the country?
Yeah.
And so for these guys, that'll be something they'll share forever. And, that'll put them as now a top 20 team. And it's just exciting for, the progress of our group. I mean, doubles has always been kind of our weak spot. And for our guys to come out and beat one of the better doubles combos in the country was really exciting. And just super happy for those 2 seniors, our captains. They live together. They do everything together. And now they get to share a really sweet moment like that.
Chatting with Clancy Shields, the head men's tennis coach at the University of Arizona. You mentioned that you put Colton and Anaki together a few weeks ago. Why was that a pairing that you thought you might like to have?
Yeah, it's crazy. We have 12 unbelievable players, and you try to find combinations that work. And sometimes you just put the tennis aside, and you start thinking, all right, these guys like each other. They live together. There's this off the court. They're both seniors. They're both recognizing this moment is coming to an end. I mean, Iñaki, it's like a daily countdown. He goes, Coach, 83 more days left. And I'm like, oh, God. And so for these seniors, they really understand, that their time here is coming to an end. And I think they just want to soak it all up. They want to create some lasting memories together. And really, as a coach, you're just watching it unfold, and you say, all right, I think this is going to work. And you never know. And then when it does work, people pat you on the back. But it was really by chance. And honestly, I'm just happy we have a really strong combination for the rest of the season.
Iñaki Cabrera-Bello obviously kind of surged to the forefront last year. What's kind of unique about his game?
Iñaki is, he's never gotten a B. He's a 4.0 student. He's super smart. He's super cerebral. With the guys are like, he's like the pops of our team. He's the most mature guy in our locker room. He's probably the guy the players on the team would tell you is going to be, the CEO of a company one day. And one of our most important leaders within our locker room. And so I'm really happy for him. He came in here, kind of transferred in from a school in Spain, and kind of came in mid-year a couple years back. And, it's hard for people who don't understand this college tennis concept coming from Spain. They don't know what this is all about. And then all of a sudden, you spend a little bit of time here, you immerse yourself in our culture, and then, now you're the guy leading the chants. You're the guy being the loud, boisterous person on the court. And that's really unlike, playing tennis in Europe. And so to see him embrace college tennis fully just warms my heart. It's one of the coolest stories out there. And for me, just wanting to see these seniors go out with a bang and with success is my ultimate goal.
Clancy Shields joining us. He is the head coach of the Arizona men's tennis team, 9-1 on the season. That lone loss came at home to Central Florida, and it kept you guys, Clancy, out of the ITA National Championships this year, an event you had gone to last year. A lot of people might not understand what that is. I think a lot of college fans, they understand the regular season, the conference tournament, the NCAAs, but how important is that ITA Nationals and getting there? You got there last year, and how big was the disappointment not to be able to go back?
Yeah, it was devastating. and in all honesty, it's really righted the ship for this season because we were exposed, and you hate that you were exposed in one of the biggest matches of the year to punch your ticket to the final site of the National Indoor Championships. But you always see how you respond as a team when you take one on the chin, and you want to see how the team responds. And as a coach, you just kind of, there's always a little bit of doubt. Can I actually do this? Am I what am I doing wrong? I thought we had a really good team this year, and I think we just doubled down on our culture and what it means to play for Arizona tennis. And, having so many of our alumni who've had so much success these last few years calling me, what's going on? What's wrong? Like, what's going on with the program? And honestly, that was a really
after one loss.
Well, these guys have high expectations, especially the ones that have played here, and they know how important it is to go to the final site.
Yeah.
And they really just, 5 or 6 of these guys who are on a group chat who've been with me the last kind of building this program the last 7 or 8 years. We were all in the group chat, and they were kind of saying, hey, this is what you guys got to get back to, and this is what I think is lacking. And we just doubled down on the culture, that the things that we built, 8 or 9 years ago when we were 160 in the country, and all the little details. And I think it really helped us, find our identity again. Certainly, I think this team is riddled with so much talent. I mean, we have the number 1 player in college tennis on our team. He's ranked 3 in the country, but by the ATP rankings, he's 250 in the world. I mean, this is unheard of in college tennis. We have a quarterfinalist. It was number 5 in the country, Jay Friend at number 2. So we have a lot of talent on our team, but we also have a lot of young guys. And it kind of reminds me when I go to the basketball games and I'm watching this Carter Bryant kid, and I'm like, why is he not playing 40 minutes a game? And you start to realize that it just takes a little bit of an adjustment for these kids who get here and it's their first year playing, maybe on a team or college tennis. And so I just think our team's going to get better and better as these young guys get experience. They're going to really settle into being able to play their game. And certainly I'm excited for the future, but I know that now we're going to be back in the top 10 in the country, and the target on our back has gotten even bigger, and we're going to have to go out and be ready to have that same hunger and desire that we had yesterday.
Well, I mean, I think what you just said there, Clancy, really kind of emphasizes it and hammers home that this is a program now. When you've got that buy-in from the alumni and they care that much about what's going on now, even though they've kind of moved on. I mean, that's really great to hear. You talked about, having one of the top players in the country. Colton Smith went out and won a challenger title earlier this year as well. Just kind of speak to where he's come from and gotten to this point in his career.
Yeah. First off, there's not a greater kid in tennis that I've ever coached. I mean, you're going to come across some amazing players. And then when you find the kid who is an amazing player, but an even better human being, he's the most selfless kid in our locker room. I would put this 100 kids in his same situation playing college tennis. I'd say 99 of those kids would go to the pro tour. They would forego their senior season. Colton is that one kid. And you kind of ask him, hey, why are you coming back? You're going to be playing the Grand Slams. He's probably going to play the French Open and Wimbledon and US Open in this upcoming year. And he's like, I want my senior year. Like, we've put such an emphasis on playing for the seniors. And I think he's played so hard for his seniors, his freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And now it's his time for the guys to play for him. And I think he wanted that. He wanted to be a part of that. And he wants to do more things with the team. I'm the one that's telling him to go play more pro events because he's doing. I mean, it's real. I don't think the community of Tucson or anyone who really doesn't know tennis that well. This is an anomaly to have a player doing what he's doing, ranked where he's at, and who's also juggling school full time. He's taking 19 credits right now. He's playing a professional schedule, and he's playing college full time. And he's a captain on our team, and he's leading our team impact community service stuff. I mean, the guy really does it all, and I can't speak enough about this kid. But this is a guy that will be like a Mount Rushmore type kid for Arizona athletics and certainly for Arizona tennis.
Mount Rushmore. Man, that is saying something about Colton Smith of Arizona tennis. Speaking of alums, J-Dub, some pretty good news for Arizona basketball alum.
Well, multiple news is Mr. Andre Iguodala had his jersey retired yesterday, and Coach Steve Kerr had some really glowing things to say about their connection to Lute Olson. Also in the news today, another Mount Rushmore guy, Richard Jefferson, promoted to the #1 broadcast team.
How about that?
Along with Mike Bream, and Coach Kerr had some nice things to say about Richard last year.
Arizona Wildcat brethren Richard Jefferson said you were upset in the under-6 timeout about this in particular. What do you have to say to him?
I'm sorry, who is this guy you're talking about? Richard who?
Jefferson, you familiar with him?
I've never heard of him.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Good luck.
Steve Kerr, he's got jokes, and he'll be here forever, hopefully, with the Warriors. Well, as long as he wants to be, with 4 titles. All right. Congratulations, Richard Jefferson. Appreciate Clancy Shields. Our Desert Diamond Casino replay brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet. That wraps it up for us today. Thanks to everyone that joined us on the program. And thanks most of all to you for listening. For J-Dub, for Cricket, for Dragon Ball, I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. DK on the Sports Tip, 3 o'clock, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, This is your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Broadway and 5th Avenue and Broadway Boulevard. We've got a collision reported. Widening work continuing on Grant Road east of Country Club to east of Alvernon Way, where travel is down to one lane. 49 and clear overnight, sunny, 85 tomorrow and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
But again, Caleb Love now taking over the game.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
He's coming. Here he goes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.